Good evening, and welcome to the Raven House of Mysterious Happenings. In tonight's book review, we are going to travel to Los Angeles, circa 1940, and to the famous office of Philip+Marlowe, private investigator. So, if you're ready, here we go. The High Window by Raymond Chandler. Now, this book is the third in the Philip+Marlowe series by Raymond Chandler. And in this story, we find Philip+Marlowe traveling to Pasadena, California, and to the home of Mrs. Elizabeth Murdoch. Mrs. Murdoch is the wealthy widow of a famous coin collector named Jasper Murdoch. And Mrs. Murdoch wants to see Philip+Marlowe about a job looking for a missing coin from her deceased husband's collection. This coin is known as the Brasher doubloon. It's very rare, and Mrs. Murdoch believes that her daughter-in-law, whom she describes as a gold digger, may have taken the coin and is looking to sell it to a coin dealer of questionable character. So Philip+Marlowe agrees to take the case for his usual fee of $25 a day plus expenses, and he goes to see the coin dealer, only to discover that the coin dealer has been murdered. This, of course, creates quite a complication for Marlowe right off the bat, and before long in his investigation he digs up more family secrets, some connections with local criminals, and he even starts to wonder about Jasper Murdoch's mysterious accident where he fell to his death from a high window. I really liked this book. I thought it was well written. It was a great story. Raymond Chandler, of course, is a legend in detective mystery literature with his hard-boiled tales of Philip+Marlowe. And The High Window is just, more of the same of what we could expect. The one thing I will say, though, the story does seem similar in tone as The Big Sleep. You've got the rich client, family secrets, and some ties to local criminals, and it just kind of unfolded in a similar way. It's not a criticism of the book. It's just more like it just seemed to follow a similar pattern as The Big Sleep. And so it actually felt kind of like a familiar story, I guess, would be one way of putting it. Now, one thing about this book that I did find very intriguing is, well, of course, it's told from Philip+Marlowe's point of view, but at a couple of times throughout the book, we got to see Philip+Marlowe kind of at home in the evening, kind of relaxing and just thinking about elements of the case. And one way he relaxes is to play chess with himself, and it just kind of helps him to think. And there's a couple of complicated things that are going on, and he's just trying to work them out in his mind. And it was just a side of Marlowe we don't see very much. This kind of introspective guy thinking through some elements of the case. It's not all wisecracks and fights and stuff like that. So this was kind of a different element we don't see too often in hard-boiled literature, and especially just to kind of see this introspective side of Philip+Marlowe was actually pretty intriguing. But overall, though, The High Window has all those great Raymond Chandler elements. The wisecracking, the tough guy talk, the plot twists, shady characters, and family secrets. It's all there, and it's a great book and just such a great read. High Window is not really that well known, not like The Big Sleep or Farewell My Lovely, but it's certainly a great addition to the Philip+Marlowe series. I'd read some of Raymond Chandler's books years ago, but this one eluded me until just recently, and I'm glad I was able to find the time to read it. It's a great read, and I can highly recommend it for anyone who loves good hard-boiled storytelling and just Raymond Chandler in general. Well, that's about it. Thank you as always for listening.